Welcome back to another episode of Put It on the List. I'm Francisco and I'm joined by my friend, resident vampire killer, Andres. Fun show today. Some industry talk, we review several things, and a double feature. Two nerds, one pod. Let's do this. What's up, buddy?
What's up, man? How's it going?
Fantastic.
Sounds like it.
It's a little hot.
Is it?
It's está caliente.
Yeah.
I'm melting, bro. I'm
bet.
shiny.
Yeah, Southern California. It's cooler up here in Northern California. But
yeah,
I'll sweat for you later.
Okay, let's not get weird. So what do we got going on this week?
Dude, we got a couple fun things. We reviewed Prey last week, and Hulu released some of the numbers that was their biggest viewed film to date, I think, ever on Hulu. And dude, they pumped this movie up, and it got helped by some fantastic reviews. Yours truly, you and I reviewed it last week, and we gave it huge thumbs up. So that was really cool to see that a badass film got badass reviews. It became like the highest viewed show on Hulu, the film. So what are your thoughts on that?
Man, I'm like extremely happy. I mean, I do want to take credit for being like one of the
influencers.
Top Predator stands out there, you know.
Yeah.
And
good job.
So it's all because of me.
Congratulations.
But I mean, the actors and the writers and the director, they might have had something to do with it.
They showed up. They showed up.
Noble effort. But yeah, man, I'm happy. I'm super stoked for the movie.
Yeah.
I'm like, in my head, I'm like, oh, what are they going to do next? I'm excited. Are they going to do Samurai Land? Are they going to, you know,
are they going to Westworld, asshole?
Yeah. Are they going to go to the medieval times? And like, hey, fucking up some knights? You know, like some crusades and shit. I don't know, bro. Like, I'm like, just wondering what they're gonna do with it next. Hopefully, the quality stays where it's at.
Yeah.
And I'm excited, man. Super happy for everybody involved.
All right, I just hope
keep watching it.
Yeah, whoever's involved is serious about it as a current team. Like they did it well.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see what they announce for it next. And you know what? If they never announce anything else ever again, I'm good, even on a high note, because they have some missteps.
Yeah.
But yeah, super excited for it. What else we got next? What other news?
Man, this is a little conflicting, but because people have some deep feelings about this movie, Jake Gyllenhaal reportedly signed on to do a remake of Roadhouse. So, what do you think, man? Roadhouse classic? Are they overstepping? Why are they doing it?
Roadhouse is a classic. Yeah, the big question. I have no idea why. I like Jake Gyllenhaal. I don't know about him as stepping into Patrick Swayze shoes, but there was at first I wanted to slap someone when I saw this. I'm like, you kidding me? But then I digging further, I saw the director is Doug Liman. Who directed the first Bourne Identity film. He directed one of the best sci-fi films in the last 10 years, Edge of Tomorrow. And he recently did something else which escapes me. But man, that guy, when he's on fire, he's on fire. So that's going to be interesting. I think it's going like direct to Amazon or something like that. It's still a little early. They haven't shot it yet. It's just in the pipeline. But because if he's involved, I'm like, I am now curious. I will probably watch it when it shows up.
Yeah. I'm definitely going to watch it, but I don't know if they're going to be able to capture some of that magic that the first one had. Like, one of my favorite parts is when the asshole owner or the main guy is like taking up both lanes of the street, and he's like, oh, singing Frank Sinatra. And I was like, that's one of my favorite parts. I'm like, this asshole just taking up the whole road, not giving a fuck. So I don't know if they're gonna.
So 90s, but it's the Bigfoot that shows up.
Like, yeah, it's crazy. But we'll see what happens, you know.
So that'll be the Roadhouse remake coming at us at some point, probably in the next 2 years. I think it'll be out.
Yeah, All
All
right,
right.
moving on to
Yeah.
some things that we watched.
We
We're
watched
gonna
some stuff.
we did. I'm pretty proud of us.
Yeah.
So we're gonna talk about Day Shift. We just came out, right? Came out yesterday,
Yeah.
and we're able to watch it.
Yeah.
And I gotta say, for me, I enjoyed it, man. I wasn't like I watched the trailer, but watching the movie, I like that it didn't take itself too serious, and they had fun with it. So that just kind of like brought you into the world and not be apprehensive about, is it an art film? Is it this? It's not an art film at all. It's just some fucking guys just blowing some shit up, and they're like in vampire stuff, and that's some pretty cool special effects. So if you like horror and funny stuff, this is right up your alley. What
It's
did you think,
definitely
buddy?
I I saw the trailer, I'm like, oh Jesus. But for some reason, I knew you were gonna watch it, so I decided to not to leave you hanging. So I watched it. And
Yay!
I would say I liked it way more than I thought I was gonna. I really
Yeah,
thought it was not gonna be a good film, but they embraced the absurdity, turned it to 11 for the most part, and I'm like, you know what? Cool. And I enjoyed it. I read later that they were filming when what was it? Cirque du Soleil got shut down during COVID. So they hired a bunch of the Cirque du Soleil performers
oh
to
shit!
be a ton of the vampires, which explains like the
Yeah,
movements that you see. I don't want to spoil anything for anyone
yeah,
who wants to watch it because it's so new. There's not really a lot to spoil. I'll tell you right now. I'll tell you right now. If people could explain to me half what the film was going on, if you could do me that favor, because I have no idea what was going on half the time.
yeah.
There were some character choices where I was just like, "What?" Like
Oh yeah,
I don't understand how they went from like A to B to C. I'm like some of the
yeah,
characters and some of the plot. There was there was a couple actors in there who were not that good at acting either, but that wasn't the point. It was just a
yeah,
fun film. The action was fun. There was one sequence, I don't want to give it away, where there's like a little team up towards the middle of the film. I loved it. That was like my favorite sequence of the entire film. I was like, this is perfect. They're just like having fun and just it was directed by a former stuntman, stunt choreographer. So you knew you're gonna get some good action, and I really enjoyed it. And I enjoyed it, and I would say the last thing, my big surprise, Snoop Dogg. This is the best I've ever seen him in a film. He was actually really good in this film. Like I thought he was just gonna like shit the bed the whole time, but I liked him. I was like, damn it, this is. I'm glad I was wrong on that one. What were your thoughts
yeah.
on it? How'd you like him?
I liked it. Going to the whole Snoop Dogg thing. I remember when we watched the trailer, and you're like, Snoop Dogg, you're already shitting on it, right? Like right away, and I was like, bro, come on. Like he did all right in Training Day, and his other ventures, Soul Plane.
Dude, yeah,
No,
I
but yeah, to to
yeah.
finish up, I enjoyed it, man. I enjoyed it, and he did a great job, and he was surprisingly good. He
Yeah.
didn't shit the bed,
No, not at
but
all. There was
but
man, he was so solid in this film. And when there were other actors who were just like, "Oh my god, did you just show up this morning?" and they're like, "Here, put this on and say these lines," because there is some lines and some delivery of some lines. Uh,
yeah,
you know what you're getting into watching this movie, so you just gotta let it all go and enjoy
yeah,
yourself.
yeah,
I love that there's a car chase scene. It's not like spoiling anything. There's a car chase scene, and like randomly during this car chase scene, there's like ramps in the middle of the area that they're driving on. So these there's like motorcycles and trucks flying off random ramps in the middle of like LA that just happen to be hanging out in the middle of LA. And it's like, all right, that's the movie we are watching right now.
yeah,
There's just cars flying through the air for no reason.
yeah, yeah, dude. It was just outrageous. Let's see what can like throw this shit against the wall and see what sticks.
Yeah,
Kind of
yeah,
vibe to the movie,
yeah,
and a lot of it stuck, man. A lot of it
yeah,
stuck.
yeah,
What are you gonna say, man? Like I laughed and I
yeah,
enjoyed it.
yeah.
I was like, and I was never. There was like no real consequence, like it was
No,
just a fun movie.
no,
So, yeah, I enjoyed it, man. My Matthew enjoyed it. We're
yeah.
laughing our asses off.
That's it did its job, and I'm you know what? Hats off to it for doing its job, and I'm glad it was there. There might be a couple sequences I would just rewatch and fast forward to because they're so much fun. And
Yeah,
Jamie Foxx. So enjoy it. That's all I gotta say. Day Shift, I enjoyed it, man. I would say definitely put on your list. Maybe not the top, but it's more of a
yeah,
guilty pleasure. So put it in the
yeah,
guilty pleasure list and fire
yeah,
away. It's on Netflix.
yeah. Don't put it next to Predator,
No.
okay? But but definitely put it on the list. All
All
right.
right. Dude, before we leave Day Shift, I want to give a shout out. Dave Franco. I was pleasantly surprised. That dude was
Yeah,
really, really funny. Like he was cracking me up. I was like, damn, this guy's good. I mean,
yeah,
he's been funny before, but not this type of role. So I super dug it. Super dug him in the movie.
yeah. Shout out to the Queen Vampire too, because uh I was like, oh, that chick is Mexican, because
Yeah.
she says pendejo like how I say pendejo. So, so shout out to her. I looked her up, but I
Yeah, I don't know who she is. Yeah.
yeah. So shout out to her. She's a Mexican actress.
It was
Good
pretty
job.
the fact yeah. All right. Switching gears completely
Yes.
on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Lightyear. We just watched the new Buzz Lightyear film, Lightyear, on Disney. And it just came out like a week or two ago.
Yeah.
And all right, man, fire away, Lightyear.
Fire. Man, we liked it. I think the family liked it. Everybody liked it. Zenaida liked it. She was like, "Oh, Buzz and his family," like all the other, space rangers and stuff. So she liked it, and it was funny. I liked the comedy in it. I liked the jokes. Um, Socks stole the show for me.
Sock stole the show.
Yeah, Socks stole the show. It's so funny. The other day, Zenaida was like, "Oh, what are we gonna dress up for Halloween?" She's asking. She's been asking me for 6 months, but every week, right? So anyway, she asked me, and I was like, I told her that I was gonna dress up as Socks, and her face kind of like, I think I broke her brain because Socks is tiny, and I'm not tiny, so she was trying to like configure that shit inside her brain. You're gonna be Socks. I'm like disrespectful, but yeah, so anyway, so we love the movie, and the special, like the animation was amazing. Um the story was whatever, but the animation was great, the humor was great, and we enjoyed it. I enjoyed it more than I thought I was gonna like it. So yeah, what about you, buddy?
Us too. I'll start with saying this film is gorgeous. I mean, I was sitting there like I lost track of some of the dialogue because I was just staring
Yeah,
at like the scenery and the detail and the
yeah,
costumes and the design of everything. I'm just that's who I am. Like I get into like the imagery of everything. I'm like wow, and just the effects and like the smoke in the background. I'm like this all looks so good. But as far as the film goes, it's funny and that there's a lot of heart there. I think they tripped over a couple story points trying to figure itself out a little bit. But overall, it was funny, entertaining. I was a little thrown off. I don't want to spoil stuff. Like the Zerg stuff threw me off a little bit. I was like, huh, that's different. That's different.
yeah. Was it
Um,
canon? It's not canon.
yeah, it did. Yeah, but but I think it should have been. Or not. Overall, okay, yeah, we really liked the film. I would recommend anyone check it out. It's a cool film. It's
Hmm.
always a little. They kind of deal with the idea of. Well, I don't want to ruin that either. They deal with some themes that are like complicated sometimes, and the way they did it, I'm like, okay, because it's like it can go either way. They've done it in some recent films. Like, okay, so it's very science fictiony. I'll say that. The one thing I had two fundamental issues with it that they could have easily solved. Is at the beginning of the film. I'm curious what you think. It basically says, in 1995, a film was released. This film, and a little boy named Andy from the first Toy Story. He watched it, and this is his favorite film, and like they're now showing you what the film that he loved. I'm like, okay, cool. So basically, they're telling us the film came out in '95, and there was like nothing in the film that told me it was a '95 film. Like
Hmm.
if they had some like '95 music, some '90s jams, like some '90s bad jokes or something in there, just to kind of set it in there. I thought it would be a gold mine opportunity to make like a '90s film using like current Pixar storytelling
Yeah,
and technology. Like that could have been so cool to see that if they had melded those two. Like, and they would have brought in a whole other audience if they went straight on '90s, like it claimed to be. So there's
yeah,
nothing '90s about the film.
yeah,
And like the design, I'm like, all right, but I get what they're saying. And the other thing I was like wondering, like, wait a minute, they're saying this film is the favorite film of a 9-year-old kid to the point where he would put the poster of Buzz Lightyear on his wall.
yeah,
And the whole time, like, is this? I was asking Christina, like, is this really a film that a kid would want to put on their wall? Because it got like serious and it got a little sci-fi techy, and it's like if they had made a '90s film that for a 9-year-old to love, like I probably would have loved it, and it wasn't quite that film. So I think they kind of added that towards the beginning, so that threw me off a little bit. But overall, as a film, as a standalone, I thought it was really cool. I really enjoyed it for the most part. I'm pretty sure we're gonna watch it again.
yeah.
I don't know. Did you get thrown off by any of that?
I did get thrown off. I was my I went veered a little bit different as far as like, so this kid watched this, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I'm like, well, I watched that kid in that year, and this looks way different than what that kid looks like. You know what I'm saying? And
Sure.
I
Yeah,
understand.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? But if you, like you said, if it's the '90s, you got to age it up. You got to set it in that era. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? So to your point about, put some '90s music in it, or like, you know, they could have put some Rex and Effects in there, like Shake Your Rump or something. You know what I'm saying? Like
Some Ace of Base, man. They could have definitely had
something.
some bass in there.
Cranberries. Who cares? Zombie something. But they didn't. And that was a
Yeah,
choice.
yeah.
And everything. You know, that was a. It took me out. It took me out.
Threw me off. If they just took that thing off the beginning, it would have been fine.
Yeah,
I think, and like you said, it would have like removed it from canon by doing that.
yeah,
And but whatever, man. It's a fun Pixar film. Not,
yeah,
not overthinking it, and it was plenty good enough. We're gonna watch it again because we thought it was both gorgeous and
yeah.
hilarious. Like Socks stole the show.
Meow, meow,
You,
meow, 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 meow,
yeah,
meow.
you should. We're gonna have to do a YouTube special for Halloween when you dress up as Socks, and you can review some films in Socks.
All I need is a little ears, bro, and I'm there.
Almost, yeah. Your head.
My little cat
Oh
ears.
my god.
Oh, my head is round. Oh, really? You're gonna talk
We'll,
stuff?
we'll we'll grow your head out a little bit further.
Oh
All
yeah,
right.
got the whiskers going.
Oh yeah, there you go. We'll get those things groomed. We'll hook you up, man.
Yeah,
All right.
sucks.
All right. Anything else on Lightyear?
No, man, we enjoyed it. It was a great watch. Definitely recommend it. Family night, and yeah, try
Yeah,
not to
good
get
family
bogged down
night.
on the details.
Yeah.
Like these, like they made it. Like, why did you need to even say that? Just show us the movie.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, and there's some other little details. I'm like, wait a second, what? But
Yeah,
again, it's fun. It's sci-fi. Go with it. And
yeah,
I would say I would have really liked to have seen Tim Allen return as the voice. That kind of like, all right, whatever. But that would have been really cool.
mm,
I think that would have added just a little extra to it. But
mm,
they went for the more. They got the Avenger to do it. So I'm like, all right, fine.
yeah,
All right, moving on. What else you got, man? I know you watched something.
yeah. I watched a few episodes of the Sandman, and it's on Netflix. It's based on the Neil Gaiman classic comic from the early '90s, I
Yeah,
believe so.
DC
And
Vertigo.
DC Vertigo and stuff. Much beloved comic.
Yeah,
I did not read this back then. I've never read it. But the show is great. Is great. I mean, each episode, like I was liking each episode more and more and more, and it was like, but it took I so I started off watching it kind of fast. I was consuming them pretty fast, but then I was like, then I started slowing down because they were thought provoking, and I'm like, man, I was really trying to like capture what they were trying to tell me, and they kind of explained some things in a really interesting way, and I appreciate the artistry of everything they did, and it's a really cool artistic take on this comic and this different world and universe and whatever else. So Um, it's really cool. It's really cool. I don't want to give anything away because I don't know who's watched it. I know you haven't watched it, but everybody, the acting is great. The storytelling is great, and it leaves you with something inside, to think about, and you have to process those feelings. So I enjoyed it, man. I got one episode left, but I'm kind of trying to take my time
Yeah.
and watch it and enjoy it.
Cool. Dude, this thing's been on my list for a while. It's getting like great reviews by so many people I really respect on the social worlds. So and you too, I guess. I suppose I kind of respect you sometimes, and I'm like, oh, I gotta watch this. But there's this. We're so backed up on other shows right now, but
Yeah,
hopefully this weekend we'll get to at least a couple episodes. Because we're Neil Gaiman fans in this household, so we want to check it out, and I'm super looking forward to it.
yeah,
'Cause, again, everyone's hyping it up.
yeah. And I liked it more than his other show.
Oh, all
So,
right.
I know some people really like that. Was it
Good Omens.
Good Omens?
Yeah, it's on
Yeah,
Amazon.
on
This is on
Amazon.
Netflix. Yeah,
Yeah.
but this is on Netflix, and it looks like they spent some time and some money on it. And Neil
Yeah.
Gaiman, I think, was
And
super
it's
involved.
dark. It's not like a happy.
No,
So that's why you have to process what they're talking about. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
I've
So
I've heard some of the themes and some of the ideas, and I'm like, oh man. So yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there.
yeah.
Uh, maybe not the last thing you want to watch at night, so you don't go to bed like
No,
contemplating your existential existence.
right? My life in a nutshell. Blah 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 blah. Yeah, it's
Don't
pretty
do it.
deep. It's pretty deep.
Yeah,
Okay, moving on. Excited to talk about this.
yeah,
The Bear,
yeah.
Hulu. My guy, I got his name right here. Jeremy Allen White, starring as Carmi. Eben Moss Backrack as cousin Richie. Ayo Edebiri as Sydney. Um, Great cast, great show. I know what I thought. What did you think?
For the most part, I loved it. It's such like the first episode, man, of the bear. I was feeling anxious, like how they shot it, and like all the anxiety going into like the kitchen and just the craziness and like the disorganization. And I was just I like the first 15 minutes, I was like, why am I kind of sweating a little here? Why am I not feeling so good? It was like vertigo, but it was
Yeah,
like not vertigo. It was like
yeah,
fucking but man, it was such a well done show. Like, and the story, I wasn't really sure where they were going, but it was so compelling. The characters, like, I'm in. Like, I just wanted to see where it kept going. You watched it all in one sitting.
yeah,
We watched it across, I think, 2 or 3 sittings,
yeah,
for a couple days, and some of it sat with us, and some of that surprises, like you're kind of expecting something from one character, but you get something else, and then the whole time, like all the characters are like 3 dimensional. Right? Like you're rooting for certain characters to do well, and other ones like you're just like, when is this person gonna stop being so shitty?
yeah,
And like, what is their problem? And I felt it the whole way, man. Trying to like lead, it's like lead a battle. This guy's leading them into battle every day, and it's nothing but challenges and problems. And every day they have to like figure it out, man. And on top of that, it centers around a tragedy. It That's like the B story going into the whole thing. You're like, damn, you see like the pain in some of their faces, and it comes out further as the show kind of develops and develops, and towards the end, you're like, a couple characters say some things that you don't see coming, and you're just like, damn, that is deep right there. Like, it's so simple. All these characters are so grounded. Everything just feels like these are all real people. Like, it almost feels like a documentary, man. I don't know, what were your thoughts on the characters?
yeah, man. It's interesting because I watched it and I was like, oh man, he wants to build this into a functioning awesome team. You know what I'm saying? And because you get there and you see how dirty the place is and how nobody gives a fuck or nobody has pride or they
There's
have
not a lot of ownership,
yeah,
man. Like,
not a lot of ownership, and he wants to put that in them, and let them know and give them self respect, by everybody calls everybody chef, yes chef, and it was like being in the kitchen again for me, and um, just developing them. as an extension of himself. I felt like, man, this guy is, he's got his artistic feeling. He's got the brain. He's got the soul. Like everybody plays a different role and stuff, and they make
Mm-hmm.
like one whole thing. And I think that's what he was trying to develop from the beginning. And like you said, everybody's three dimensional and stuff. And like you're like, oh, I wonder why this lady's a bitch, But then she doesn't want to get hurt. So she has this big shield, you know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
and she protects herself, and being that way, that's why she protects herself. Or like this guy, cousin Richie, is like, oh, this guy is a maniac, this guy's this
Yeah.
and that. But he doesn't know how to be normal. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't know how to process feelings. He doesn't know how to, interact with people. You know what I'm saying? So and
Yeah.
like you get all these different elements in the kitchen to make something great, like just like making a great dish. And it was just like it was amazing. And like some of the little tricks, yeah, they had like the you know the one episode when it was one shot, like they had some crazy cameos, they had some tricks, you know what I'm saying? And that was it. But man, like the soul of the show was what made it for me, and like everything was so cool, and like bring it together into one big thing, And then like at the end of the show where something happens, and he reads the thing, and he's reading the recipe and stuff, and it all comes together to back to the first episode. You know what I'm
Yeah, I
saying?
didn't
And
see
it's
that. I didn't see that coming.
no,
And I didn't see that coming, and I didn't see the reveal past that coming, and it was like, what? And then it leads like they got second
yeah,
season,
yeah,
and it's like, oh man, and they announced the second season, so I'm like, dude,
yeah,
man, it's I'm excited for a second season. There's so
yeah,
much going on. I want to see where they're all gonna go, and it's like you can tell in the first season they're all just kind of like
yeah,
taking a lap around the track, like just starting to get ready. And like season two should be like
yeah,
they should all be like race cars, hopefully, depending. It depends. But man, it got deep, and yeah, the cameos were cool. And like I was like, oh shit, oh damn, look at this, oh damn. It takes place in Chicago, and it feels like the whole everything about
yeah.
the show. You feel it, like the texture and the culture and how they talk. Like cousin Richie always they call you cousin,
Cousin,
cousin.
yeah, that's funny.
Man, there's so many unexpected like funny parts with Richie. Where's my gun? Where's my gun? Who's seen my gun? Like
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
how he solves his problems.
yeah. And
Hid his gun.
shout out to the entire cast, but definitely, I've been a big fan of Jeremy Allen White since like the first season of Shameless. He was on that show on Showtime, and man, that guy is smarter than me. Is he acting smarter than me? Or he's like, but I want to hang out with him too. Like he looks like a cool hang. And even in this show, like I believe like, man, I think he'd be a cool hang. He's a little intense, you know what I'm saying? But I think he'd be like not a bad guy. I think he'd be a good guy. You know what I'm saying?
I've never seen any interviews with the dude, so I got to check some of that out.
Yeah. So
Man,
anyways, he
all
was
right.
amazing.
My one thing, I'm like, this dude looks kind of yoked for a chef, like a little too yoked for a chef. That was
Mm,
like some of my thoughts. Like, when does he have time to be doing all those pull ups and push ups?
mm. He did.
Because
They
those
showed you. He was in his
really,
room doing push-ups. Didn't they
uh,
show him doing push-ups in his room, in his house?
maybe I zoned out at that part because he's not happy when he's home. I'll tell you right now, when he's home, it's not
No.
his good place. His happy place is the kitchen anywhere.
What about that speech he had in the meeting, man? That was crazy too.
Oh man, that was yeah, like peeling back the layers. The show has layers for all the characters, and they just start peeling them all back and peeling them
Yeah,
back, and you're just like, damn,
yeah.
yeah, that was a
And
long, yeah,
these episodes are short. You know what I'm saying? They're like
mm-hmm.
20 to 30 minutes. Depending
Yeah,
on what episode it is,
and a
and
lot happens.
a lot happens. It's like nonstop,
Yeah,
nonstop, and it's just like at the end you're like, oh man, we're done with service. You know what I'm saying? With dinner service, and it's like, oh, it's time to relax. I don't know. I just love the show. I loved it.
I totally see where you're coming from. It's definitely one of the best shows of the year by far. Especially when you get towards the end where things start kind of like everything gets kind of revealed in the way the characters and story, and you're just like how it all comes together. You're like, damn, that was so satisfying, so satisfying.
Yeah, yeah,
But and that's another the show on Hulu, man. I'm starting to tear through this stuff, which is really cool.
Yeah, it's cool, man. I'm glad you liked it, and I'm glad you finished it, and I'm happy I didn't spoil anything for you because I could have been like, "Hey, ba 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 ba
I know you were like, you
ba."
need to watch it. We need to talk about this now. I'm like, oh Jesus,
Oh man!
we will, we will.
All
All right,
right, so moving
moving on to the
on,
next one.
moving on to trailers. Let's go ahead and let's talk about some trailers, man.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
We got a couple trailers this week. Uh, one being Andor, Star Wars. It's you know what? I didn't know it was. Let me start off by saying, like, when I watched the second trailer, I think this is the
Yeah,
second trailer, right?
yeah,
I thought it was a fucking movie, bro. I was
yeah,
like, it looks like a movie. It looks like it's weird because sometimes you can't tell the difference. But
yeah,
this was like, if you would ask me, like, oh, this is gonna be in the movie theater, like
yeah,
the quality
yeah,
and the way it looks, I'm like, damn, this is a cool ass movie.
yeah.
And but it's not. It's a TV show. It's gonna be like the prettiest TV show that Disney has made.
It, I, it looks like they're getting back to the sensibilities of Rogue One, Star Wars Rogue One, which I think was the prettiest Star Wars film they made.
Yeah,
Like that film was gorgeous. I do not like that movie,
we
but that
we
film was
know.
gorgeous.
Yeah,
Good, good. Just in case people have to go back to the archives. But they're taking that design sensibility and they're letting it breathe, like in these environments and the costumes and the characters. And I was like, this is man, I the show can't get here soon enough. Like I am so fascinated by what
yeah,
they're gonna do with this show. Like the writing, the acting, the cinematography, everything looks like on point. Like some of the other Star Wars shows, like they were fun. Like, but they
yeah,
weren't great. They didn't have
yeah,
like they kind of lacked that cinematic quality,
yeah,
especially like the Boba Fett show. You felt like
yeah,
this is a little rushed. Like it
yeah,
didn't feel like it was well thought out. Like throw the camera there, do some stuff
yeah,
next. This feels like they kind of took their time and went full like cinematic experience across
yeah,
I don't know 10 hours. I'm not really sure. I know they announced like this. They already have a second season, and between both seasons, I think it's spread across like 5 years. So they
yeah,
have a plan to tell a story.
yeah,
I'm so in. I don't know what else to say.
yeah,
Andor. I'm
yeah.
so in. And this was I was so least looking forward to.
I know
So,
you were. Yeah.
dude.
And it's funny speaking to the cinematic aspect of it. It's like, Disney has The Mandalorian, but just because that's a fun and like really great show, it doesn't it's a TV show. It never stopped
Yeah,
being a TV show. And I
yeah,
just can't get over the fact that I was like, this is a fucking movie. I'm like, no, and it's gonna be 2 seasons and they're gonna tell the story and it's gonna be, 20 hours, 20 episodes, or I don't know how many hours, but probably like between 14 hours when they cut it down. But
yeah.
man, I'm excited too, bro. I'm excited, and I just want to sit back, eat some popcorn, and watch this.
I mean, it's basically about the rise of the rebels and a lot of the empire. And there's a lot. It's just a lot of political intrigue. Like I'm
Yeah,
like, all right, this could be something that they haven't done yet.
yeah,
Versus like the adventure of the week to go find a thing to give it to this other person so they could pay me so I could have lunch this week.
yeah.
Whatever that Star Wars story is.
And
This is
the costume
dude.
design, I was
Yeah,
like, oh, they dress different, and this, they're, I don't know, it's just different. It looks different than other Star Wars, like
yeah. It looks
in a
grounded.
good way.
Like more grounded. More like yeah. I'm in. We're gonna talk about this one.
Yeah.
Oh, here's the other thing they announced. It comes out I think September 20th, somewhere around there, and they're gonna release the first 3 episodes on day one.
Yeah.
Like, dude, so we're gonna do some talking. We're gonna
They're
hopefully
they're doing the
go ahead.
Amazon thing, like Amazon does that with like the
Oh
boys.
yeah.
I think that's the
So
perfect way to do it.
that's gonna be cool. All right, man. Moving on to the next trailer. Andor. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, the next trailer is it's funny because I put this trailer on, but I didn't put a description on it because I didn't want Andres not to look at it. And it's Smile, and it's a horror movie. Um, what did you think, buddy?
I'm not gonna watch it.
What did you think of the trailer? Were you like,
It's
this asshole
dude.
sent me this trailer?
Dude, it was creepy. It was a fun. I like the minimalist idea and the design of it. It
Yeah,
was like just the right creepy tone. I'm like,
yeah,
what the hell is this shit?
yeah.
And I probably won't ever watch this movie, but I mean, I I think you'll. I'm
I,
curious what you think because I think it looks, as
yeah,
far as this kind of movie goes, I'm like, this
yeah,
looks interesting. This is like an artistic take on some kind of horror,
yeah,
and like it's like, oh, smile, and it's like this Joker esque thing, and
yeah. Exactly. It's
I
like the
don't,
Joker got it right, and it's
yeah.
like, but it's crazy. It's creepy. Yeah,
Super creepy, really cool looking cast. I was like, damn,
yeah.
this look like all right. Yeah, you could send me your horror trailers all day, no problem. Just don't expect me to watch that crap later on.
uh, yeah. So yeah, that's what we got. Next.
Normally we go to new to the list right here, but new to the list was Day Shift, and we just came out yesterday. We
Yeah,
already watched and reviewed it. So how
yeah.
badass are we?
I know.
All right, so we're gonna go straight into the double feature right now.
Okay.
And four, tell them the theme this week.
All right. The theme for this double feature is comedy horror. We're inspired by Day Shift. It was a great movie, and we're like, oh man, this is a cool little subgenre of movies. Um, do you want to go first or want me to go first?
You can go first.
All right.
I I don't know. I have my one choice. And I think I just have to come up with a backup just in case. But fire away. I have a prediction what I think yours is going to be now. But go ahead.
Okay. I'm excited because all right, these movies are not like Oscar winners, okay? We're
No.
not an we're not an award season, guys, okay? This is just fun, dumb, things that blow up and things shoot things at each other and the dialogue is horrible. The plot is not important, okay? Things with fangs die. All right? So anyways, my choice is Hansel and Gretel, Witch Hunters
Holy
with
shit.
with
Jeremy Ra-
Jeremy
Jeremy
Renner
Renner?
and Gemma Arterton. I think that's how you say her name.
Oh wow.
That's a fun fucking movie, bro.
Really? I've
Yeah,
never seen it.
yeah, man. Matthew and I watched it like I don't know 2-3 years ago, and we're like laughing. It's like just dumb, but it's like cool ways to kill vampires or witches, and like it's just fun. It's just fun. Like
Yeah. Dude, Jeremy Renner's always good.
yeah, and he's dry and sarcastic and stuff, and like
Yeah.
these witches say things to him, and he's like, "Oh, okay," he just shrugs it off, and it's funny. It's a good movie, and it's on Prime. It's on Prime. Watch it, check it out.
Oh,
It's not it's a cool hang.
all right. I was thinking you were gonna say Dust Till Dawn for some reason.
Oh
Some
yeah,
reason. But we're trying to not be so much vampires. We're trying to do just horror comedy.
yeah,
So I chose a horror comedy film, which I don't watch many horror. This I don't know if this is more. It's like the first half of this film is more horror, and the second half is more comedy. And the film I'm talking about is my pick, Cabin in the Woods.
oh yeah. That's a good one.
I love Cabin in the Woods. This film was delayed for like years when it was supposed to come out, and it was supposed to be like this genre bending film written by Joss Whedon and directed by Drew Goddard. And Drew Goddard later does the Daredevil TV show on Netflix, so he's got a good pedigree. But this came out like years, like 10, 12 years ago. And they take the idea of like horror troops, like zombies and vampires and flying crazy bats that eat people's heads, and they turn it into like a I can't even. You have to watch the movie. This film, it's kind of hard to explain, and there's so many twists and turns,
Yeah,
and it is not a happy film.
no,
It's pretty damn violent, but half the violence is hilarious,
yeah,
if that makes sense. And some of the reveals as it keeps going further and further of like how they take the idea of like a horror film and kind of turn it upside down.
yeah,
I super appreciate it. I love this film. I think it's super clever and again, not a happy one, very violent, but
yeah,
fucking hilarious, man. This Cabin in the Woods.
yeah. Man, did we go watch this together in the theater?
Nah, I don't think so.
No. I remember watching this in the theater and I was like, this is fucking cool. We had talked about this movie before it came out because
Yeah.
like, oh, it's supposed to come out, but they don't know what to do with it. And
Yeah.
um yeah, man, it's cool and stuff. It deals with all these horror tropes and it kind of just turns everything on its side, and upside down, left, right. You don't know where you're at and stuff. And it was a cool experience and funny. And yeah, there's some violent stuff in it, so beware.
And at the time, this was, I believe, the biggest film that Chris Hemsworth was in it at that
Hmm.
point. And when he filmed it, and I think he did Thor, it came out. By the time this came out, I don't know, like a year or two after that, because it was so delayed, everyone kind of knew who he was. So I think that helped get this film out. And like marketing this film, I don't even know what to tell people, man. I would just check it out
Yeah,
because it's a wild film.
and the poster's really cool too.
Yeah. And the ending of the film, I mean, everything, the whole film, we're just like,
Yeah,
damn. Like it's such a weird, satisfying,
yeah,
trippy. If you like horror films anyway, this is
yeah,
for you. If you like sci-fi comedy stuff, this might be for you too. Like just hang in there for the first half hour, I would say.
yeah,
And the last hour is like much easier to digest as it keeps going. And then towards the very end, it there's a couple there's like two bananas scenes and shots in the movie where you're just like your jaw will be on the floor. You're just like, did they just do that? Like, holy shit. Like things that you're like, wouldn't it be cool in a horror film if this happened? And they do a lot of that in this
yeah,
film. They just go to 11.
yeah. Great choice. So that's the double feature for this week. We got Hansel and Gretel, Witch Hunters, and
Yeah.
Cabin in the Woods. That sounds fun, bro. That's like a good,
Yeah.
fun fucking time right there.
I'm in. I'm in.
Yeah, you can, and that way you don't have to worry about Hansel and Gretel. It's not scary, man. You can watch it.
All right.
All right. Well, this is the end of our show. Any last thoughts, man? Anything you want to share?
That was fun. I think right now, because I'm digging into the Hulu thing, we are we just finished the first season of The Great, and we just got into the second season. So I'm thinking next week we'll have 2 full seasons of The Great for me and you to jump into, and that's going to be a lot of fun talking about. I'm looking forward to talking about it with you because there's so much stuff, and I think we're going to get a little spoilery next week with the show or maybe not. Maybe we'll just give our favorite lines. We'll see.
Yeah,
I don't know, man, but like this show is kind of amazing.
yeah. It's a great show. Man, Hulu has a bunch of stuff, dude. It's like I'm like, dude, watch something else too, bro. Like there's Reservation Dogs.
I
There's
know, I know.
oh man, there's so many cool things.
When
But
someone gets into it, though, they get their hooks. We just keep going through
yeah,
it to the next one. So I'm like, all right,
yeah. One more thing before we go to
yeah,
what we do in the shadows is on fire, dude. It's on fire. The last couple episodes, I've laughed out loud so much. I'm like, this show's so fucking ridiculous, and
dude.
these guys are on fire right now. The last
And
two
there's
episodes.
we'll talk. We should talk about it also next week because there's a really cool connection. We'll talk about it. But we were both just dying the last episode. I
Oh
couldn't believe
man,
it. I couldn't believe it.
yeah, it's fucking crazy.
This show, this is the best season I think so far as like hard laughs. Like they are just taking it to 11,
They're in the zone, dude.
dude. Super.
All right, well, that was exciting, and it's a great episode. I think that's it. You got anything else?
Yeah, man. I think we hit it out of the park as always.
All right.
Dude,
Well,
I want to give you credit for not being a jerk and trying to disagree with me on all my correct takes this week.
bro, you have
That was
some bullshit
appreciated.
takes a lot of the time.
That
So
was see, there we go. There we go.
no, the problem is, bro, is like
You almost made it.
no, no,
You
no. You
almost
had to
made it.
bring it up,
Why did I call you out? Oh,
bro.
god damn it.
Like it's okay to admit when you're wrong, and that's an issue, bro. We got to send you to therapy. Be like,
Is that what it
yeah,
is?
be like, why can't I admit when I'm wrong? Hey, me. You know, and you know,
We got to send you to like film and theater camps. So you understand like what good stuff is.
oh, I know what good things are, bro. I watch a more vast variety of things to understand what great films are.
You have to watch a lot of bullshit to understand what the good stuff is. Is that what it is? And you just happen to watch
Well,
a whole lot of
we just don't
bullshit.
watch Paddington and fucking Downton Abbey and shit. You know, you gotta watch everything else too.
Damn, dude, you're on Rotten Tomatoes. You're like, let's reverse it and see what the lowest score is. Yeah, let's start there and go up.
Yeah,
Because, it's just
hey,
easier that way if you just start at the bottom.
they made it
Is that
for
what
a
it is?
reason, so to be watched, not to be skipped.
Dude, I'm surprised you didn't say fucking Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter as your fucking double feature fucking pick.
That was a good book. That was a good book.
The book, probably. The movie looked terrible.
Yeah, I didn't get into the movie. I thought you were gonna say Scary Movie, to be honest. I was like, this guy, I'm like, well, I mean, it's technically scary, but I'm like, it's a parody, but I guess I remember like somebody, a certain person used to have a thing for Anna Faris. And like Anna Faris, yeah. That was the thing for somebody.
I'm silenced because I'm like waiting for the name. Like, who was this?
You! You! You were like Anna Faris. I'm like, what? Really? Okay.
I don't think I remember that. We're gonna talk offline about this. We're gonna jog my memory.
I will.
Dark Days. Dark Undress was fucking.
Andres gone dark. Andres after hours.
On this week's episode of Choices, Andres.
Andres has watched a scary movie 10 times.
I actually watched that once in the theaters, and I'm like, this isn't even that funny.
You're the one that told me about it.
Really?
Yeah. Damn, bro.
I really don't remember that. We're gonna have to
I didn't even watch any of those movies in the theater. I think I've only seen one movie. And I was like, this fucking guy made me watch this shit.
Wow.
Yeah.
Back in the day. All right.
Yeah.
Well, hey, we all get one, I guess.
I guess. All right, my guy.
All right. Signing off.
Signing off. Trying not to be weird.
Right, till next week.
See ya. I got to work on my socks costume. See you guys.
Oh, yeah. Get started.